last problem set, you learned about additive inverses. Remember, additive inverses are just two numbers whose sum is 0. You can think of the additive inverse of a number as being a reflection of the first number across 0, right? Okay, so in this problem set, we're just going to reinforce what we learned last time. Remember, it's important to understand the definitions, right? You got to learn those. Make sure you understand the vocabulary. All right, let's start off with some review. I know these are kind of tricky for some people, but remember what you're trying to do. You're trying to make this open sentence into a true closed sentence. So it's okay to go ahead and combine like terms. We're using the commutative law, right? On the right side, so you get negative 15 plus something equals negative 3. And my advice on this one is think of this equal sign as a balance. This is what we were talking about last time. Both sides have to balance out to negative 3, right? So you have to figure out what has to go in the box to make this whole thing equal this, right? They both have to equal negative 3. So it boils down to, what do you add to negative 15 to equal negative 3? And the answer is 12, right? That's the answer. So that's what goes here too, at 12. And we'll do some more of those. And the other thing we're going to do a lot of here is more of these problems where you have to simplify. Follow the order of operations and use good algebra skills. So in this one, let's say if you were to simplify this, wouldn't you work inside the innermost parentheses first? That one right there. And if you add those together, that becomes a 5. Notice you write the whole problem down. Then inside the square parentheses, you see 3 plus 4 times 5. You do the multiplication next, right? And that's a 20. So let's read it back. 2 times the quantity 3 plus 20 plus negative 12. Work inside the parentheses, you get 23. So now we have 2 times 23, which is 46, right? So 46 plus negative 12, you get 34. So we're going to practice more of those too also. All right, let's first work on making the open sentences into true closed sentences. I'll do a few, then I'll give you some to try, okay? So you're trying to figure out what goes in the box to make this true, but what I would suggest you do is simplify as much as you can. On the left side, we're going to combine those. On the right side, we're going to simplify this too. So what is 5 plus negative 8? Isn't that negative 3? And can we do this in our head? 2 times the quantity 8 plus negative 3. If you work inside the parentheses, you get 5, right? So what's 2 times 5? 10. Okay. So remember, the equal sign is a balance here, and we're just asking the question, what do you put into the box to make this true? Both sides have to balance out to 10. You see, you're kind of stuck with 10 on this side, so this whole side has to equal 10. So what do you add to negative 3 to get 10? It's going to be a positive number, right? It's going to be positive 13. There you go. This one's kind of sneaky, unless you look at it the right way. If you look at it the right way, it's not that hard. We want this whole thing to equal 0. So what do you add to this to get 0? Well, since these are not like terms, both of these have to get zeroed out. What do you have to put in the box to make this go away? You have to have a negative 2. And what do you have to also have in the box to make this go away? The opposite of this would be negative 3y. So I guess that's one thing that's worth mentioning is it's okay to put more than one term in the box. Put whatever it takes to make it true, to make it equal to 0. Notice the 2's and the negative 2 add up to 0. And the 3y and the negative 3y add up to 0, so therefore the equal sign is true, isn't it? So that's what I'm saying. If you look at these just right, they're not that bad. This one's harder. Both sides have to balance, right? Now look, we're stuck with 3m plus 5. You can't do anything to this side. All you can do is put something in the box so both sides equal 3m plus 5. So the trick is to look at each term separately. Let's get the m's to balance. You have 3m here. You have 1m here. How many m's do we have to have in the box? How many more m's? 2. Good. 2 more m's. Now, the numbers also have to balance. You have a 5 on this side. Do you see any numbers on this side? Not yet. So what number has to go in the box so that the 5's balance also? You have to have a 5 in there. So let's just check to see if this works out. On the right side, you get m plus 2m plus 5. 3m plus 5, sure enough. Okay, try these. I'll give you a couple minutes. See if you can do these. So let's look at this first one. Again, go ahead and simplify. Let's multiply 3 times the 4 and get 12. And let's combine the negative 5 and the 12 and get 7. Did you get that far? So now it's not that bad. What do you add to 7 to get negative 13? Remember, we're trying to get both sides to balance out to negative 13. It's going to be a negative number, isn't it? You have 7, you're going to add something, but you have to end up as a final result of negative 13. So what number do you add to 7 to get negative 13? It's going to be negative 20. I think that's right. Anyway, you're better to try something and then check it, right? Let's go over here to number 5. What do you add to negative 3w to get positive 7w? You want 7w on both sides. So you're going to have to add a positive number of w's, right? Don't you have to add 3w just to get back to 0? Plus another 7w to get up to here. So that's a total of 10w, isn't it? So again, if you think of it just right, that's not that bad, really. Remember, the equal sign's a balance. Both sides have to balance the same thing. This one on number 6, we're going to simplify inside the parentheses. This becomes a 5. 3 times 5 is 15. So this is what we end up with. 15 equals something plus negative 11. So what do you have to put in the box so that if you add negative 11 to it, you get 15? It's going to be 26, right? I think that's right. 26 plus negative 11 is 15? Yeah. So the answer is 26 here. By the way, the answer was negative 20. Make sure you put it in the box. How about this one? This one's kind of tricky, although remember, you can put more than one thing in the box. Both sides, everything has to zero out, right? Both sides have to add up to 0. So we can look at each one separately. How many k's do you have to add in here so that you have no k's left? You have 5k, you have to have negative 5k. Plus, you want a number in here that when you add to negative 3, it's going to be 0, so the number has to be 3. So the answer is negative 5k plus 3. Here we go. How about this one? We're going to put something in the box so that both sides balance out to 2a plus 5. Let's get the a's first. You see 2a on this side, right? 2a on this side. There's no a's in here, so you need 2 of them in here, right? So the a's are going to work. Now, you see a 5 here. You have to have a net result of 5. Well, there we go. Now you can see it. You have 7. So what do you add to 7 to get 5? The answer is negative 2. So the answer would be 2a plus negative 2 there. Okay, on this one, again, the secret is to look at each one separately. Everything has to add up to x. Let's get the x's to work first. You have to have a net of 1x on both sides. Well, here you have 2x, so what do you put inside the box? So you'll have a net sum of 1x. You have to have a negative x. And do you see any numbers over here? I don't. You have a 7, so what do you put inside the box so that it zeroes out the 7? It has to be a negative 7. That's how it works. Okay, let's go back. Let's do some more simplifying now. Then I'll give you some of these to try as well. I think most people find these a little bit easier than the open sentences. My advice is don't worry about them too much. It's not a crucial idea. It comes up. We're going to use it from time to time, but it's not the main idea of the course. I wouldn't lose any sleep over that. Okay, let's simplify this. We work inside the parentheses. We're going to do this first, right? This operation, negative 5 plus 9. So that becomes a 4. We're writing the whole problem down, right? We always write the whole problem down. Now, when you multiply before you add, this becomes a 16. Negative 12 plus 16 is 4. There you go. Let's do this one, then I'll give you some to practice. How about this one? Let's see, work inside the innermost parentheses. 3 plus 7, right? That's 4. You write the whole problem down exactly and just call that negative 3 plus 7 a 4. Now inside these square parentheses, right, you see negative 5 plus 4 times 4. You do the multiplication before the addition. It becomes a 16. Write the whole problem down. And now negative 5 plus 16 is positive 11. Write the whole problem down. See, we're almost done. It gets easier as you go. Do the multiplication before the addition. So this becomes a 22. Final answer, 19. That's right. Okay, so go ahead, hit the pause button one more time, and do these, and we'll go over them in just a minute. Okay, so with these problems, you really want to slow down and include all the steps. Really work on your good algebra skills here. Because the problems get harder in algebra, so if you develop good algebra skills, you have the mechanics and the tools to handle the situation when it becomes messier. Let's see, order of operations says you work inside the parentheses, right? So let's go ahead and do that addition and that addition. That becomes a 2, that becomes a 3. We write the whole problem down, right? Now we do the multiplications. I get 6 plus 12, which is 18. Did you get that? Good. This one, it's actually easier, isn't it? We just combine like terms. You add the x's together, you should have gotten negative 4x. And when you add the y's together, you should have gotten negative y. So the answer is negative 4x plus negative y. Alright, how about this one? This one, what operation do we do first? We do the addition, right? We do that addition right there first. So that becomes a 3, but you write the whole problem down carefully. Now you look inside the square brackets and you see negative 3 plus 2 times 3. So the next operation is that multiplication right there. That becomes a 6. You write the whole problem down. See how it gets easier as you go? Inside the square brackets, you do the addition, you get a 3. So it's 2 times 3 plus negative 11. Almost there. 6 plus negative 11 is negative 5. Yay! That's great. On this last one, let's see. What would you do first? How about inside the curly parentheses, you see round parentheses. When you do that addition, you get 1, but you write the whole problem down carefully. That becomes a 1. So the problem looks like this. I wrote everything else down exactly the way it was. Now we look inside the curly parentheses, you get negative 5 plus 3 plus 2. I just went ahead and added these two together. This is 3 plus 2, which is 5, if I added those two together. So I get, inside the curly parentheses, you get negative 5 plus 5, which is 0. So the problem becomes this, right? Negative 2 plus 3 times 0. Well, 3 times 0 is just 0. Final answer? Negative 2. Alright, you did it. Good job. Keep working hard, and you're going to do well this quarter. See you next time. Bye-bye.